I don't know what I'm about to say, but she was inspiring. Um, she talked about how you're not supposed to allow anyone to just empty your cup when you put so much into it. And I feel like this is hard because when you feel as though you've accumulated so much, it seems as though you're meant to share. You're supposed to share. What does God talk about but charity? You know? What did my mom always tell me growing up that I hold on to the closest? If they want it, let them have it. You know? Let them take it. Because in the end, you know you've done what you're supposed to do. You know you've accomplished all that you've accomplished, and whatever is taken from you wasn't yours to begin with. You know, if it can be taken, it wasn't yours, and that's how I feel. But she do make a valid point though. One day I was out. I decided to go out. Me and my son, we decided to leave, and we felt so good that day. We felt so good. Couldn't nothing get in our way. I felt like I came out, but I was also glowing in all that I've been through. Like my cup was full, completely full. But how do you know if your cup has been emptied? I didn't know if my cup had been empty because I was feeling that good. Sometimes you don't know, and this is where discernment does come in because you have to be able to have that self-control. You have to be self-disciplined, you know, self-disciplined. We out having fun. And then at the end of the day, it all feels good. If it all feels good, then it was meant to happen. It's the world that makes you feel as though you should feel guilty or you should be guilty. One day, me and my mom was out, and I had bought all of these candies that I showed on here before. I bought all of this candy, and I was just feeling so good, because I wasn't thinking about the money. I was just thinking about having fun. So I took those candies, and I was just, making that little video about, how they can better the candy, how they should do better with the candy. The candies was cute. They look like food. I actually wanted to try something new for once in my life. Not all of us is in a position to just be splurging like that, especially in my position. When I got it, I have to save it. I have no other choice. I can't just splurge. I can't just spend, you know. But when you have a little money, just like that kid, you know, in the movies, Ray, like old school movies, just like that little kid back in the day that get that 1 penny, finally, that 1 nickel, that 1 dime, that $1. Usually it's not really a dollar. It's like a dime or a nickel or something is worth, like a dime or a nickel is worth, something for a kid to get something back in the day. They're looking at that and they're like, finally, I can do something, you know. We don't have enough money, but I have something that I can just give back to myself for all the stuff that I've been through. Even if it's not a lot, I have something that I can show for, that I can have fun with. I can finally get this piece of candy that I want, and that's how I felt that day. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, did I do wrong? Like, I know I don't have the money, and I know I shouldn't be spending because I know I have responsibility. I know I can't do this. And I felt guilty inside. I felt so guilty. because I know I don't have the money to be spending. But I couldn't help myself because I just needed some time to just feel good. Do something for myself to make me just feel good, you know? And when she spoke about don't let nobody empty your cup, it just came to me that I I don't know if this is emptying my cup or not, because like I said, in my situation, I didn't see no wrong to it, or I didn't see no wrong by it. But sometimes maybe I can get in my own way because I think that way, you know. And maybe that's something I should stop think. That's how I should stop thinking, because I do feel good. I know I have everything that I need: food, clothes, water, temporary shelter. That's what I need. I'm still not at the shelter part, but in this time of stress, you know, just do something for yourself. Um, so when I thought about emptying my cup, it was more so about maybe I dipped into my own cup worldly. That money, I dipped into that money, and I wasn't supposed to, because I felt like I wanted to, have some fun when it's not a time to play. So that was my guilt. Another form of emptying your cup is, when you're vulnerable to a situation. I'm not really vulnerable, but one thing I can say is that we tend to get the best of ourselves. We tend to let others get the best of ourselves. We tend to let life get the best of us because our mind still has not been fully, you know, healed from those traumatic experiences. Even traumatic experiences can be emotions, built up emotions of how you were treated in the past, you know, constant talking and constant chatter about how you need to look, or how you need to be, or what you should do, you know. The past you fighting with the new you, trying to make you do stuff that you know is wrong, or trying to make you think something is right when you know it's wrong. So therefore you go about that situation, or you get tangled up in that little, you know, you get tangled up with something that's not good for you, all because you're backtracking on the old you. Something is creeping in and telling you that this is right when it's wrong, trying to get you to go over that way and do something that's going to sabotage your cup, sabotage yourself, you know. And this is when, you allow that little bit of poison to come in, or that little, you know, that predator to access to you, because you are the prey. They come in and they devour and they take and they destroy and they steal everything that's inside of you. But something in you told you to go. So you don't know whether or not you were supposed to. And that's when I feel like we need to work on spiritual discernment a little bit more, you know. It's not hard to empty someone's cup. Because this is where you are becoming weak-minded, and something in your situation is making you weak. So therefore, you have to do some self-reflection. You have to take some time to yourself to figure out what it is that's causing you to become mentally weak, so that you don't go and do something stupid, do something unwillingly, knowing that you yourself will not act in this way, but something in your presence has some type of impact, have that manipulation over you to make you do something harmful or do something that you know you will later regret. So it's time to let go. It's time to cleanse. It's time to take time to yourself before you make a mistake that you know you can't come back. You can't come back from. So the word of the day: don't allow no one to empty your cup, especially if you feel as though you worked so hard to accumulate all that you are. Don't let no one steal from you. Don't let no one take from you. Don't let no one take any of that from you, because you worked for it and you earned it. It's been many times where I wasted so much of my time. I wasted so much of my time. I wasted so much hard work because it was being taken from me. It was being stolen from me. So many times. No matter what I did, it was being taken. But in the end, I learned the lesson that it was never mine to keep. It was never mine to keep. You know? So yeah. Yeah, she spoke some good words of wisdom, you know. When you fill your cup, appreciate it. Um, appreciate it, thank God and just bask in your moment. This is your moment. You earned it. You deserve it. And protect it. Protect your peace. Protect your portion. And if they don't understand, don't let nobody get to you. That's just the thing. Just don't let nobody get to you, and just stay to yourself if you have to. Take your moment when your moment is revealed to you, and pray to God. Keep God with you at all times. Believe, have faith, have patience, because even when God can get you in that moment, you sit and you pray and you wait for your time. You wait for the time that God can come and assist you with whatever you need. And if anything, pour your portion, pour your cup. Give God your cup, because you can trust God with your cup, more than anyone else. If you feel like any type of, you feel confused about it, give it to God. And that includes your cup. Give your cup to God. Because if you don't trust yourself, or you feel as though something is kind of itching at you, or you just don't know what to do about the situation, you don't know, you feel at a point where you don't know, or you feel vulnerable, and this basically this force or something is, you know, taking control or having some type of power over you, go pray. And when I say pray, this is you pouring your all into God. Pour that cup into God. And you walk away. Even if you feel as though you've been empty, you have to have faith. So with that being said, that's a little word, and that's my little, you know, review about the video that I just watched. And I'm going to leave her video down in the description so y'all can watch it too. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, be notified, and share as well for your. Bye.